This is Kyle Bell with the South Bend Voice. Today we're speaking with members of the City of South Bend's Office of Sustainability to discuss a survey that they are asking citizens to participate in regarding the city's issues, assets, and ways that the city can improve in the future. First off, I'd like to thank both of you for joining us. Can you tell us your name, your title, and what you do in the Office of Sustainability?
My name is Therese Duro, and I'm the director of the Office of Sustainability, and I manage and oversee all the office activities.
I'm Krista Bailey. I'm the Sustainability Coordinator in the Office of Sustainability. So I do a lot of the education and outreach component associated with the project. So working with the interns, but also doing some of the background and supportive research and outreach on the different issues that we're addressing.
For people who are not familiar with your role in the city, the Office of Sustainability started this year after having begun as the Office of Energy in 2010, which I believe was funded by the Recovery Act. Is that correct?
That's correct. So the Municipal Energy Office came about because of American Recovery and Reinvestment Act funding that was designated for energy efficiency, renewable energy, and climate projects. And the city, at the time, Mayor Lickey decided to convene a group of community stakeholders called the Green Ribbon Commission, who determined through the process of their commission meetings that it would be appropriate to use the funds in part to start the Municipal Energy Office. So although the grant is no longer available and the office is no longer funded with that federal money, we're very encouraged that the city and the new administration has decided to continue that effort and in fact expand that effort by establishing the Office of Sustainability.
So we've seen a lot of renewable energy projects popping up across the country with the backing of local governments. And tied into that is California's push for cutting its carbon emissions. Here in Indiana, though, I can think of Fort Wayne as a recent example where they are installing solar panels at their airport, which will power the airport's terminals. Are there any projects like that in the city of South Bend that are currently in the works in terms of renewable energy?
That's a great question. We are evaluating several opportunities for renewable energy. Solar power is obviously very exciting to us because we have Innovatus, a homegrown solar electricity, solar PV company, and so it'd be wonderful to partner with them and support that green business that we have locally. There are many roadblocks or there are many challenges to being able to implement a renewable energy installation. You have to do a lot of partnering with the utility company. It takes a lot of land area, and one of the big disincentives that we have here in Indiana, which is a benefit in a lot of ways, but a disincentive for renewable energy, is just extremely low electricity rates. And the city actually receives very favorable rates from Indiana Michigan Power, and so it's sometimes the finances are difficult to justify. However, one big opportunity that we are evaluating right now is the opportunity of putting hydroelectric generation in our existing dam. It doesn't change the flow of the river at all. It actually uses the existing flow to generate electricity, and this would be a small-scale facility, but we do have an ongoing relationship with the Federal Electricity Regulatory Commission, and so we're looking for partners who are interested in helping us develop that dam, who are willing to make the upfront investment and then reap the benefits of that clean energy for the next 20 to 40 years of the operation of a potential hydro turbine.
So the larger hydro project comes out of a small pilot project that was installed, a small hydroelectric generator, Little Ginny, I believe it's nicknamed, actually came out of an IU South Bend graduate project that took many years of, again, trying to justify the cost, get the turbine working and installed and all of that. So that's been in place, and trying to see how we can run that effectively and efficiently and use that as a model to scale up from. So the South Bend Airport, although it's not going solar like Fort Wayne, is utilizing one of our best assets, and that's geothermal to run the heating and cooling system there. So that's very exciting to green our airport even as it gets bigger and fancier in there. It's lowering its carbon footprint.
Aside from energy, what are some other areas that your office is looking at for public investment?
Well, I'll talk about a few tactical items. Certainly, we are interested in supporting really what the community's priorities are. which is why we're gathering a lot of feedback. But some of the issues that we already know that we'll be working on is helping to facilitate recycling for organizations that are interested in taking advantage of those opportunities, looking at street tree maintenance and the urban canopy that we love in South Bend, and how we can make sure that we have healthy trees and that we're maintaining them appropriately. We're also looking at ways to use plants and natural features to manage stormwater in hopes of reducing the cost of complying with our EPA mandate to reduce combined sewer overflows into the river. So there are a lot of opportunities there. And certainly one thing that we're going to be very focused on is actually optimizing and improving operations within city government to make sure that we're cutting back on waste, paper, electricity waste, making sure that we're very energy efficient in our facilities. And that will be ongoing, which is really a continuation of the work that the Municipal Energy Office was doing. But I'll also let Krista tell you a little bit about some of the community work that we'll definitely be focusing on as well.
So one thing we dove into right away as an office was establishing a presence for ourselves. A lot of that was getting out and meeting with folks that had been involved with the Green Ribbon Commission originally, who were working with the city already, and really doing a lot of listening and finding out what their concerns was, how we could work with them. So part of putting ourselves out there was establishing a website, right, on the city website, and of course setting up our social media presence. So we have a Facebook page, we are on Twitter, so we're trying to get out there where people are finding their news and finding their information, trying to be a resource for that. For example, on our website, we have sort of our introductory page, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a little bit. But also we have a page that is sort of a hub for all the sustainability related activities that are already going on in the city. For example, if you wanted to utilize a city vacant lot for a neighborhood garden, it's a very easy process that's been in place for years. Very easy application, asked to use it. It's very simple. It's kind of a hidden feature in the city. So we're trying to uplift some of the great things that are already going on by putting them all in one place.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the survey that your office is conducting. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, and what is the purpose behind it?
Well, the survey is an attempt to get ideas and feedback from the community. As Therese mentioned, we are here to serve the needs of the city, but we can only do that if we know what those are. So we can do as much talking and listening as we want, but until people start really telling us what they're thinking, then we'll never really know for sure. So part of developing the office, as we opened it earlier this year, they said, great, glad you're here, make a plan. So that's what we're doing. But in order to best do that, we really need the most guidance we can get from the community that we're going to be working with. So the survey is set up to help prioritize those goals and initiatives to see what people are concerned about. So identifying some of the issues that they're seeing in terms of sustainability or not happening in the city, but also looking at the assets that we have. We do have a very nice urban canopy. Could it be better? Sure. Could it be worse? Yeah. So what are their concepts about what's working really well that we can build from that success? But also looking for people's ideas, dreams, visions. If we were, a small-scale Portland, Oregon, for example, what would that look like? And how would we function as a city? How would roads and neighborhoods and businesses be designed? How would we interact with our city and with each other? So really looking for people's dreams of, what South Bend could be, so we can start identifying common trends and themes and priorities that we can pursue. We're taking the results from the survey very much to heart and working with our Green Ribbon Commission that we reconvened this fall to start identifying some of those goals and objectives. So that's a group of about 70 people, which is great. They're a very broadly representative group of folks from across the city. However, that's only 70 people out of 100,000, 100,000+. So we're looking to get more feedback so it can help guide their choices about what we should be doing, as well as our own projects that we'll move forward with. So the survey for feedback on a strategic sustainability plan for the city is available on our website, southbendin.gov/sustainability. It's in English and Spanish, so whichever you're most comfortable in. You can take the survey there. It's about 6 or 7 questions. Some of them are ranking how we're doing in terms of our economy, our environment, and how we're taking care of our city, the people in our city. And then there's a few open-ended questions looking for those issues, assets, and dreams. So it takes about 5 minutes unless you really have a whole lot to say. It might take a little longer, which is great, but it shouldn't take too much of anybody's time, and the feedback is just invaluable. So you can find it on our website, and it's just a couple clicks, and you're on your way. On Facebook, we're the Office of Sustainability. South Bend. On Facebook, we are the South Bend Office of Sustainability. And our Twitter handle is SustainSB. So you can find us there, again, Office of Sustainability. And we should pop right up. Those are, you can also find links to those on our website.
So after the survey is complete, the city is going to put together their sustainability plan. Who will be involved in putting the plan together? Will it be the Green Ribbon Commission? And what is the overarching goal?
So the overarching goal of the plan will really be defined by the key goals and priorities that are offered to us by the community. But everything that we're doing is to build a vision of a more sustainable South Bend that supports what the mayor's administration is already trying to do in terms of economic development and innovation. So that's kind of our goal, is to supplement and support a lot of the initiatives and planning that has already been done within the city government, and just provide more of a connection between economic development, environmental protection, social equity, all these different pieces that people are working on, trying to bridge and connect those things within the plan. So once we have collected everyone's feedback through the survey, we're also working closely, as Krista mentioned, with our Green Ribbon Commission, who is our board of advisors, so to speak, and they're doing a lot to help us distill and categorize all of the feedback that we're getting. The idea being, and we're already seeing this, that several ideas will be repeated frequently, and that we'll get a sense of really where the office needs to start in terms of implementation. So we will be involving the Green Ribbon Commission very heavily, partnering with our department, the Department of Public Works, as well as the Mayor's Office, the Department of Community Investment, Parks Department, and all others within the city that have an interest in our plan. From the strategic sustainability plan, we'll then be moving into implementation. The plan will help us identify our priorities, so we'll know what we need to get started on beginning in 2015.
Now, I imagine that part of your job is working with a lot of other city departments. Specifically, who do you work with most closely?
One thing that has really been great about this job is the opportunity to interface and network with people all over the city government, and really help kind of connect the dots and visualize how we can all be partnering together. Definitely one of the mayor's priorities for his administration. So we work a lot with within other departments, other divisions in my department, which is the Department of Public Works. So we work with streets. We work quite a bit with engineering. We can envision at sometime working with solid waste or waterworks. We also are trying to build relationships with the Parks Department, especially some of their education programs. We see a very strong link between sustainability and general wellness and well-being, and the value of nature and our open spaces bring to the city. And so Krista has been working closely with that part of the Parks Department. We also are working with parts of Department of Community Investment, especially the Planning Office.
It seems like there's a really good opportunity to work with, especially the Parks Department in South Bend, since it seems like a lot of the space is underutilized, both in terms of potential use for renewable energy, as we mentioned, but also recreation. Could you speak a little bit to that?
Well, the Parks Department recently completed their 5-year master plan, so that is going to be the guiding document that they're utilizing, that we will, of course, be supporting. That was developed with significant community feedback. They had signs up at every park for you to call in and give your feedback. They had public meetings about it, so they have a plan in place already that we will be aligning with and supporting already. And a lot of the pieces that are in there have to do with making better use of the parks, which ones need upgrades the most, how we can connect the parks better to our bikeways, for example, and how you can get from one park to another without risking your life, and being able to get to them and even know where they are. So, we'll be working really closely with the plan that they've just developed, which I think is a very strong guiding document for them.
It also seems that a really big part of having a more sustainable South Bend would be denser development and a better use of public transit. Is your office doing anything to either encourage or work with other city departments to put forward those goals?
Absolutely. We see a lot of those goals as being really central to sustainability as well as to the character of a South Bend that I think a lot of us are really looking forward to. And so to do that, we're supporting Department of Community Investment with some of their Smart Streets initiatives that are designed to bring more density and commercial activity to certain parts of the city. We're also very interested in supporting the Vacant and Abandoned Housing Initiative to make sure that we're making good use of our residential areas. Krista is very involved in urban agriculture and supporting kind of the grassroots urban gardening and urban agriculture that we already have in South Bend. And we all are also working to develop partnerships with Transpo. Transpo is very interested in expanding and strengthening the transportation network and making sure that it's a service that's useful and well utilized. And so we will support them however we can, and we're already building those partnerships.
We also work closely with MACOG, the Michiana Area Council on Governments, and their directors on our Green Ribbon Commission. So he brings a great perspective in terms of planning and especially transportation issues. So really looking to them to guide and use their resources, both staff resources and financial resources, to help implement plans that best serve the needs of the community. And they've been really helpful and responsive when we say, hey, there's elderly or disabled that are having a hard time getting around. What can we do about it? Oh, they say, we have this and that program. Here's how can we best get this out to community groups that want to tap into this resource. So they've already been really responsive to that, and definitely looking, are very interested in making it a very accessible city that's easy to get around in, no matter how you're moving yourself, whether it's your car, your bike, feet, bus.
Thank you for joining us, Therese. And Krista, do you have anything that you'd like to add?
As Krista mentioned, we really appreciate your feedback, so please take our survey and always be in touch with our office at sustainability@southbendin.gov with any comments, questions, or ideas. We're always happy to hear them.
You can find out more about the Office of Sustainability on the South Bend Voice website at southbendvoice.com. Also, be sure to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/southbendvoice and on Twitter at twitter.com/southbendvoice.